Hey everyone, looks like we're live. You can see we got a little bit of company this side here tonight. That way, uh, this little guy over here, it's beautiful. Nevertheless, it's November 23rd, 2024. And so the ascension journey goes on, if you will. So tonight, this is about the ascension and also GPMS world for the direct connection with both in this overall ascension. Uh, During this tonight, any questions that ones have, please put them in the comments section and I can answer them. I'll wait just for a few more moments before I begin to go into much detail. First off, I wish to say thank you all for your support over the years and for Femke and I as we continue with the mission, what we're doing. And without all of you, of course, we would not be able to give our time as we do at sharing and assisting and guiding with everything we do. So it's all of you that support us that makes it possible that we can do these things to assist our brothers and sisters in this ascension and as we go forward. Uh, so I'm very grateful for this computer that Brother Troy has donated, and also recently I had to get another phone. The screen was the glass was shattered. I don't know for about a year with it, and it got to a point that you cannot, with your fingers on it, that it began doing a lot of things that I did not intend for it to do. So very grateful that at least we have, the tools to communicate with all of you, the laptop and the phone. So we're very grateful. And as you can see, we have a beautiful little cabin to stay in here. It's one room with one bathroom, and it fulfills our needs, which is very good. So we're very grateful for all of this. And hello, Brother Barrett. And yeah, we need to, Brother Barrett Tunian and I will be doing a interview shortly on an important update I put out perhaps about 2 days ago. And I love that with Brother Barrett. He always has the uh, great questions that allows me and leads me into more detail and explanation with the updates, with some updates that I put out. So, having said this, recently there's not been much from I in the with teachings, putting out tools that ones can use, and so there was not much new. Can't have other things, if you will. So having said that, we're kind of in an area right now where there's nothing new too much in the lines of teachings and guidance. It's a matter of just reiterating things at times when common themes will come up within soul groups or the collective as a whole. And then, it'll be a worthy mention and perhaps guidance for ones on how to navigate through it much easier. and to not get sucked in or succumb to the lower density energies when you would then begin to create a confusion, and let's say the veil would drop and you'd forget simple things that you were learned and taught to do to keep yourself elevated. And with the energies and all of this, it's quite a task to navigate at times in the past. However, it's getting much easier. Um, Let me say to, and at any time, anyone can put in any questions. And if I recall, I didn't really ask for it. It was given uh, from Father that we are ascending in December. Now, what that means, we are constantly ascending. We have been since 2012. So, whether it means just ascending to a higher level or if it is a full reset of reality with the ascension, I cannot give that to you. Now, when you look at the current world circumstance, if you will, one thing that many uh, spiritual teachers or guides and even common ones that are awake, if you will, one of the things they would say is, how is that possible? The world's not ready. But again, what I say is that we are omnipotent as well as prime creator, meaning that miracles do occur and in the blink of an eye. Once the light quotient is strong enough on Earth, because everything is energy, we can effect a flash point, if you will. So it's very, very possible, all of these things. And no, this is not a pipe dream or a fantastic um, something that is fantasy. It's very real and it's very true. And over the course of my uh, years speaking and connected with all of you, there's been many of you that can attest to your multi-dimensional experiences visiting other timelines, other dimensions, and different, very profound experiences. So, this is the testimony that many of you know that is real. So, having said that, there is no denying or refuting the possibility of a full instantaneous ascension of Gaia, of the earth, if you will. So that can occur. However, for the most part, what I wish to say is that GPMS dot world is the divine vehicle to take humanity into civility, and where that is the divine instrument, the energetics with it, the bigger it gets with the support, because all are focused and aligned with the new world, the quicker this old world dissolves that you have, and it's a rapid uh, transitioning directly into the new liberated and abundant world for humanity. And having said this, with the overall divine plan, the ascension, what is occurring on Earth, on Gaia, there has been so many, around 5 million incarnated angelics or ascended masters here to serve this time and to make it happen. We just don't have all in unity yet, a relatively small number, but again, everything is divinely designed, that at the right time they all come together and wake up more to the reason why they're actually here on earth and what their divine mission and purpose actually is, which is beyond having a human life and a human experience. So, with the awakening process, if you will, in your own divine bubble, these ones get rustled out. No, you're all part of the huge team to affect the ascension. So, having said that, you have ones at many different levels of the process with it. However, all are going forward, if you will, and as you go forward, it affects the new reality. And what it takes, the ascension is designed that it takes uh, all of these divine ones to come together to support, in effect, that. And again, it's what I see, what is part of what I do to evaluate uh, the ascension as an overseer of it. I evaluate and I monitor the levels of consciousness and also the beliefs with that, and with the different levels of consciousness, there's always a protective ego layer there that keeps the level of consciousness intact until enough of the individual's experiences uh, they have gone through it and are able to master it to advance to the next levels, if you will, to keep it simple without going into any detail. However, the whole ascension and your whole experience, it's all preordained, it's all scripted. It's within each of you in your soul that that script is there. However, you're not given the next part of your script until you play out and master the lessons and tests involved with one level. Then, once you've done that, you're given more, you unlock more of your own power, you embody more of your divinity into a knowing, and then this equates into the higher consciousness and the higher perspectives and the higher ability to see what is actually occurring on Earth, and also to see what your mission, what your purpose, what your reason is being here at this time. And essentially, what accompanies that is many profound and divine and inexplicable, even experiences, which it's all again for the reason of and the purpose of why we're here. So the Great Awakening, if you will, went into a higher speed, if you will, in 2012. And again, the Great Awakening is not something that one does on a spiritual path. It can be for certain individuals, but there's a huge, and it was all written and scheduled for the wake up time. So it was all preordained. Again, the Great Awakening is not something that is happening as a phenomenon. It's all divinely designed with this. So again, it's unique for each individual how it occurred, and but it's also necessary. It's your wake up codes to wake up very quickly to your divinity and to your divine powers to change this reality to overall effect the ascension. So the Great Awakening, the GPMS world, is also the reason why the Great Awakening occurred, because the current structure, socio-economic structure of compete nor compare with what GPMS is, not only because it's a divine vehicle from Prime Creator, Mother and Father theirself, but because also it's all inclusive, and what it does, it instills the full unlimited value back into the individual which is called the intrinsic value and ability to create, if you will. And in this case with GPMS world, the value is the individual theirself. It's not something outside. It's not gold. It's not silver, if you will. And with the transitioning with GPMS, the intrinsic unlimited value is used to create a money for a short term that may last a year or it may last less than that. And then humanity is in to the full-fledged civilized world where money is not needed at all. And so also it's transitory with that, but it's a rapid transitioning. There's no ands, ifs, or buts. It's ascertained to what it is. Now you can also say there's a consciousness battle also that is ongoing. It's already won. All of us are from the future, if you will, energetically at least, and we're back here playing the physical roles to take this to fruition, hence the worldwide mission. So, is it pretty fluid now? How's the transmission? I see some comments here. Yeah. How's the flow now? Yeah. I see this is a brand new computer, and I'm right beside the rotor, and this should be working strong. Interesting that it's not, but can someone give me an update? Is it any better still on and off, huh? Hmm. Points wrote down. So getting back on track, November 12th, 13th, significant divine dates for whatever they entail uh, coming up, and also could coincide with what Father has said about the Ascension uh, in December. So we have 12th and 13th, and 23rd by Father I was given is a significant date, December 23rd. Um, Barrett, brother, how's it working now? Can you give me an update? So this is Nikki. This is December 12th and 13th that is coming up. Yes, thank you. And December 23rd. With this overall ascension, what I need to say is most of you have known in the past, it was very, very rarely that Rick would put projected dates on anything. However, um, let's say in November 15th, a few months before November 15th, Father give me the message to a bit better, thank you, to put out the message that it was possible that we would have had the paradigm shift, the ascension, that GPMS could have been implemented on November 15th that went by. Now, obviously, that was not the case yet. But when we look at from Father Prime Creator giving me this message and insisted on putting out that it was very, very possible, it also means we are right around the door from this happening. So that's again why December 12th, 13th, sometime in December, we are ascending to whatever degree that may be. I'm not given exactly what it is yet. So, uh, so from November the 15th to the 25th, what I had put out earlier, we were given it was more or less a more of a revelation period by where the darkness would pull their stunts off with their last desperate attempts, if you will, to control, intimidate, and yes, we've seen those attempts in the last few days. However, that was supposed to be culminating around November 25th. So, having said this, we will see what occurs around November 25th, which is Monday, a few days from now. So, yeah, it's working a bit better now. Yeah, so that's good. And what is I'll just have a look. I see Living in Light with Love says GLF said they will be arriving 23rd at night to open up chakras of light workers leading to. Um, and with what you put in there with your question, I don't think that's connected with what you're saying. What I will say is that there has been many ships activated. There was a very important divine action taken by a divine delegation, which I am part of, and some other brothers and sisters, about 33 of us, I believe. Um, we were divinely called to do a few days ago, and what this involved was many ships. We're commanders of ships as well. We have our own fleets, and there was a very extensive divine operation that was undertaken as well. I put out in the comments that there were missiles that were vaporized in mid-air as well, with the nonsense and the desperation by the darkness. So there is the divine intervention directly to the degree that it's allowed with the divine plan, and to the degree that universal law, multiversal law, is violated as well. So the remnants of darkness that are still on the storyline, on the timeline, uh, they are monitored fully, and if they get too much out of hand, they are, if you will, taken from the Earth's scenery. I'll put it. So everything is divinely ascertained with this overall ascension. So, having said that, there is no cause for any alarm, if you will. And also, ones need to realize that upon Earth, with about an 8 billion population, that there is only about 6 billion of those that are actual human souls, that the rest are comprised of what you would call soulless minions, and also what Christ spoke about in the Beatitudes about the men made by men, which is clones and robotic cyborgs and what have you. And most of that, if you will, is trickling off. Many are leaving the scene as well. Some of you may know or may have witnessed in some small towns or some areas even that there is less and less people than before, and it's because a lot of these are also leaving the scene because they don't have the ability with the physical vessel um, to upgrade the DNA and to raise the frequency that is required for these higher realities where negativity doesn't exist. Just to keep that simple, because I may be putting out more information on this in the future, and I did not want to bring it in now if I don't need to. But there is some more information uh, about um, about that subject, if you will. So we have many ships, many seeing those, many variations, many more with your physical, multi-dimensional eyesight, your physical visual ability to see the colors that is occurring. Um, Symptoms, if you will, many symptoms over the last month, and one of the reasons was I'd put out, let's say, a month or month and a half ago, that we had to take that plunge in October. And by taking that plunge, what happened where we had to go into lower density at doing that before we rose back up on the bifurcation event. By doing that, the physical vessels were succumbed to the lower density. So while down there, they took on residue of negativity. And by taking this on, it equated into more symptoms of different pains and different even ailments, if you will. And so there was a wide variety of that. And keep in mind, we are raising back out of that. It is no long-term effects with it. It's part of dealing with the energy where a lot of us had to go down lower for brothers and sisters, if you will, that are awakening or are advancing to higher levels of their awakening and their ascension. Thank you, Barrett. Barrett asks a question: will the situation get better when Trump gets into office? January 12th, 25. What I need to say with this, really, it doesn't matter the overall ascension with what Trump does. And for one of the simple reasons that in 2016 Trump was supported to do a very important divine job within the few years, and let's say that did not occur. So at this point, it doesn't matter much what Trump does. It does matter what the good souls that were following Trump, what they do. But Trump as an individual, it doesn't matter much in the timeline or in the play of things what are going on. Um, with individuals, so you ask what are my thoughts on Trump? My thoughts on Trump, Putin, uh, all of the political arena, it's a no play in the ascension, and very quickly it deteriorates. It's not part of the new world. And once more of the focus by the awakened individuals know of GPMS and the new Earth, and once their focus is on there, all of the political arena just drops. It fades to the wayside because it cannot compete and it's not part of the new arena, the new heaven on earth scenario. Everyone needs to understand that politics and all government systems are the dark design, if you will, and this is not a part of the new world. And having said this, also with one's thinking about constitutions in republics, all of that is separation and it's back in the old. Everyone has gone through that. It did not work, and it doesn't matter that it didn't work because there is the direct divine intervention on earth to ascertain and to ensure um, the advancement of humanity into civility, into a civilized state of being, and this old capitalistic savage state inflicting so much pain, suffering, enslavement, suppression, and that leads to death worldwide is not part of the new, and it's the whole capitalistic system is the root cause for all of the suffering upon Earth. So that's definitely not going to be a part of the new. So it doesn't matter with any political policies or what have you that ones may be attempting to do, it doesn't come to fruition. And it cannot because it's not in alignment with the divine plan. And many also, the numbers at this time with the ones awakened are beginning to outnumber the ones not awakened. So the majority rules, if you will, once they're all in alignment with GPMS world, which is the divine plan. So I have to add both of those together because again, GPMS world is the ascension vehicle for the planetary ascension. It's what ascends humanity, as I said, into civility out of this present savagery with the worldwide system. And it is cruel and it is savage to have poverty and have different classes of people, and more specifically, poverty that leads to death and children starving when upon the earth, this earth right now, the way it is, has grows enough food to perhaps feed 10 times the current population, but also with GPMS is it takes money out of the equation as being an inhibitor to the advancement of humanity. Uh, let's say if GPMS was here right today, uh, because of it, this planet could easily grow food for 100 billion people today. And also with that, it's because we have to take money out of the equation of the human existence because it has hindered humanity and kept them behind. And there's many reasons for that, many nefarious reasons, but we don't need to delve or go into that because the divine intervention is here. It is GPMS world that takes all of those children of God, the human souls, forward, if you will. So, I'll have a look. There may be a couple questions there. Thea Marie says she signed under the contract for GPMS a couple years ago. Let me say, GPMS, no one signs it. You put your name on there, and it's not an actual signature, it's just a mark. You don't need to sign it, so I need to make that clear. And it's not the contract, if you will, what you make is with yourself and with GPMS, but you are the controller of that contract that you can rescind it at any time. With any contract, if you will, within law, for it to be lawful, there has to be an opt-out clause that can be activated at any time by any party. That is a lawful way for a contract. When you look at the legal system, they don't have this opt-out clause, if you will, that's in there to recognize the rights of the individual and to allow the individual what you would call a due process within their rights to utilize them instantly at severing a contract in the blink of an eye. But so with this, she also asks, are there any socials I should join to keep myself updated? Yeah, we have, Thea, we have on Facebook multiple GPMS groups on Facebook, also on Telegram. We have our main GPMS representative group, and that is the guardians and representatives that volunteer. Plus, we have country groups of volunteers and representatives on Telegram as well. So with this, you can, and I believe Lee give you some information on that. So yeah, just ask some questions around to existing members, and they could perhaps point you in the directions for that. Yeah, thanks, Lee. Yeah, Brother Lee said it's an accord, an agreement, and GPMS.world. And again, this is what we are ratifying. So by collecting, if you will, to keep it simple, the worldwide individual agreements of every individual to their agreement with this new world, it is a vote, if you will, that uh, with this we ratify the majority into a full concrete law that cannot be contested nor refuted by anything worldwide. It is the absolute, ultimate ratified treaty. It's fully solidified, and with this also with GPMS.world, it's every child's voice counts, their consent as well. When you look at, let's say we look at America today in the last election, um, it was the majority did not vote, if you will, uh, for the elected representative, and this is a huge problem worldwide for the political system, because you have the political system, the way it's structured, not properly representing the people, including the children worldwide. So really, because of this, there is also no force and no power, and it's breaking down more and more. When you look back at 2016 with the U.S. election, at that time, with the eligible voters in the U.S., um, I believe it was around 53, maybe 57% voted in that election. But what's important, almost half did not vote for any form of government back then. That's a huge number, especially in the U.S., because what it showed that there was no trust in 2016 in any form of government in the U.S. And again, had Trump not run, you would have only had a quarter, um, if you will, of the voters voting, which a government would not have lost it. But in the political arena, things are set up, numbers are played with, to support that old arena. But again, I'm not getting into politics and in things of the old, because that's all quickly going to the wayside. Let me get back a little bit here now to the floods and the weather that is occurring worldwide. Ones need to know that there is the divine element with this as well. And what I'll say is that Prime Creator, it's accepted by many worldwide and read that the earth would not be flooded again. And this is very important. Although the earth as a whole is not being flooded, there was nothing to say about individual floods, but ones need to pay attention also what was written in religion in reference to rivers at this time, and huge rivers and water that would be coming with the Christ, if you will. And yes, we are in this time now. And when you look at the Ascension and the Great Awakening, that is also considered as the Christ consciousness, the Christos, which includes the feminine and the masculine, whichever way you wish to look at it. So the Christos Sophia, if you will. Um, so it's very important with these floods, and what we need to say is that the water is not only coming from the sky, from the firmament, it's also coming from inside of Gaia. And let me just say that this is uh, regulated, if you will, and it's divinely monitored as well. But also, it's to get into the divine details and particulars of the reasons for the floods, let me say that they are very serious and they are very important, and in the least, it's to attract people's attention that that they need to be uh, doing what is right. And with this, when many in the past, if you take as an example, if someone has a close call with death, if you will, it kind of wakes them up to the degree that thank you God or what have you. But it also makes them look at things differently, and it also breaks the robotic, monotonous, capitalistic structure worldwide with the enslavement of humanity. So it disrupts it, and again, during any disruption, it allows for one to it allows for ones to see things different and even clearly. I'll answer Joan's um, question here. She says, "Can I enter my grandchildren on GPMS?" And she says she joined at the beginning. The answer to this, Joan, you can enter your grandchildren, you can consent for them if you have their consent or their parents' consent. You cannot consent for someone without their knowledge, other than if it's the actual parent, which are the guardians, which are duly morally obligated to consent for the best welfare and the best future for their child. So make sure, yes, you can. Anyone can consent for another if at least you have their verbal consent. A verbal consent is also a lawful agreement, if you will. So if someone says that, then yes, you can do that. Um, Jumping back to Ascension related, one of the things that one of the symptoms, and this is important, what many have been feeling over the last several days, is the pressure in the heart center, in the higher heart, and in the heart chakra area, and even in its heart. Much pain and much pressure. Now, what I will say for the explanation for the more advanced empaths, what you are actually feeling is the change of the morality of the masses. So it will be reflected into the physical energetically, but put into the physical of the empath as an indication that morality is changing. What the heart held as an energetic morality before that was corrupted, it's being changed. So during that change, there is the um, transmutation of actual energy that results into um, feeling the actual sensations of it as well. So what you are having, many worldwide, they thought they were moral by being part of the system and doing the best they could in this system. But the new but they were morally corrupt to allow for a system to create, let's say, poverty worldwide that resulted into many unnecessary deaths. So, with that, the morality, which is in the heart center, is being transmuted into a higher virtuous morality. Just one moment. Fem, could you come here for a moment? I'm gonna let Fem come here for just a moment. I need to use the washroom, and I'll be right back. Just come and say hi, Fem. Yeah, and I'll continue. Here.
Interesting. I missed totally what Rick was speaking about, so and I don't hear anybody speaking. Comments. How are we all doing in this beautiful time? Yeah, interesting. What to speak about? Ricky, what were you speaking about?
I was going through the list. Is there any questions up there?
Where are we here?
Yeah, I'm down at the bottom. Yeah. Well, thank you for filling
Any
in.
questions?
I can't see very well from here. Thank
Any
you.
questions for you?
Thank you,
You
co-host.
ask me something.
uh, oh, yeah, I would thank Femke for setting in for a
Yeah,
moment. Yeah, and Toro says, and so many says, nice to see you, Fem, and
So
indeed.
I didn't see them, so I just feel like looking at the.
Yeah, looking at yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't hear nobody speaking, so it's like whoa, whoa, whoa.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's
No, I
like
just my microphone doesn't work good on the computer, so I'm using the headset.
yeah, yeah, I had him on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, the Ascension symptoms. Yes. So the heart pressure, what I'm saying is, again, it's not a concern, and periodically with the ascension, what occurs as well is that the physical heart is evolving too, and the rate that it pumps the blood and the speed and also the pressure is related to the overall ascension because your physical vessel is evolving internally. And part of this in your blood, if you will, is the plasma, which is the crystalline component that once it's in motion with all of the other mechanics, it begins to it creates your field, and you begin to vibrate at the faster your blood moves in your circulatory system. It increases the frequency of your vessel, to keep this simple for once, and then because your frequency increases, this is your multidimensional ability to exist in a higher frequential reality. Now, divine light, virtue, being good, if you will, all of this resides in the higher reality. And by doing this and populating your field with all of the good energetics by being the good soul, if you will, then you raise your frequency. And this is why it's so important to do your inner work to get rid of all the fear so that it doesn't control you and attract negativity, which lessens your field. So this is being all prepared for you, each one with your circulatory system, your arteries, your vein, your heart. All of this is evolving to be able to pump blood much quicker. And many of you perhaps had experienced what was called high blood pressure by orthodox medicine, when actually it's not. It's your vessel undergoing the changes, and orthodox medicine just does not understand this. They do not understand the evolving anatomy until it's back and forth, but we are taking it higher and higher, all of us together, with that energy and that conscious focus on the new world is what does it. So it's conscious co-creation, if you will. And many of you know that you create from your consciousness. So this is basics, and it's in simple basics is where you have your focus and your intent towards. That is a very huge energetic value that creates that. And on the simplicity with GPMS dot world and the metaphysics with that, it is also simple that once you have all of humanity, or not all, you only need not you don't even need a majority, but once you have, let's say, a good number of co-creators that are empowered, focused on that new world which we are creating, what you have, it's inevitable, and it gets manifested, to keep it simple. And everyone also knows how mass meditation does affect things. It does alignment with the new world. So the more that we have in alignment with GPMS.world, it creates it very quickly. And because it is the most virtuous divine instrument, where it's pure, its energetic effects outweighs the negativity by many, many multiples. Right at this time, I would say 10 to 1 is how it's affecting reality as becoming the prominent, supportive divine energy with physics. To try to keep that simple without going in and explaining how all of creation and energetics actually works, but letting all of you know that anyone aligned um, with GPMS, you are creating the heaven on earth scenario, and it's a very noble position for you to be doing that, a divine noble position, and to consciously know what you are creating. And also, this is again the reason why you are here. The great awakening did not happen by chance. It had to show you all of the defects, the evil of the old system, so that you're able to create the new, where none of this exists. And many of you have been even deep into the dynamics and mechanics of the old to discover at its core it's deceptive, it's fraudulent, if you will. That's why this old system cannot be repaired and utilized, because at its core it's fraudulent. So all we do with the new system is, the money itself is not evil. It was the control of the money that was evil, but we break that control and we use money as a good thing to very quickly, if you will, instantly buy out the old, wipe the slate clean for humanity to quickly have the appropriation of lawful wealth given to each, and then you come to find that humanity doesn't need money at all, that it becomes a hindrance and then it will become obsolete. So I'll have a look here. Hi all, and many highs to Femke, and
Many highs back.
many highs back, she says. Um,
I'm open for questions.
yeah, Femke said she's open for questions as well. Many comments come in here, so I'm just catching up on these. Yeah, and thanks, Jennifer. She was experiencing paranormal stuff as well. But it's important to know the power of your consciousness and what you can create. So if you're in fear, you may create fearful things. So that's why, again, it's so important to have no fears, have full trust, which is the lack of fear. When you have no fear, when you have full trust, you have no fear, then you do not create any negative experiences in your reality as well, and you do not contribute to them. So again, it's so important for um, the ascension guides and teachers, if you will, to give this to all. Now, I was going to attempt to get this done in about an hour. However, I'm a little bit longer than that, and usually, what as everyone knows, I just go by divine timing when I have everything said, so I don't uh, wish to cut that off with short. So Jennifer says she feels more empowered today. Yes, Jennifer, the divine Femke, and others, same report. And for I, with the masculine, feeling the energy was a little bit more heavier for the masculine today. And one of the reasons for that is because the feminine magnetics was supported to uplift the feminine. So the feminine would be more resonant and feel better because the magnetics with the overall timeline and Gaia has been increased today. So the masculine are electric, if you will, and um, we feel we feel things slightly different at times. But we are coming to where we all feel the same in the higher vibrations, and that you're not controlled by the old physics of magnetics and electrics as well. And again, this is new information that will be coming out uh, perhaps in the near future, if it needs to be put out, if it just all is not activated from each one's inner knowing, from being a soul that existed for all time. Either way, it comes out, so great. Just let me have a look. I see Terry has a question, I believe, but I just want to look on my list here to see what I covered. Uh, Wormwood, very important. Wormwood. Uh, any watching this that it resonates, get some wormwood tea. Have a couple teas of it at least. It. Let's say wormwood, the herb, wormwood, the tea is for parasites within your vessel. It's a good cleanse, especially if you get tummy pains or what have you. But with us, anyone watching this, there is an energetic, deep reason for it. And also, you may wish to look at Revelations where it mentions the star wormwood that turns the water bitter. However, in this case, what we are actually doing to keep it simple, when you take wormwood, because you're a divine one, you are clearing the parasites. So this means any parasites on the whole in the reality you are also clearing, because you are a conduit for divinity, for God, and your connection to that, which we are here to clear things. So just to give a little bit of how it's metaphoric, but it's also important for any that resonates with it to have some wormwood tea. See, Brother Terry had a question, I believe, here. What Terry asked, he says, Rick, I remember in a conversation with you saying that enough people concentrated on a storm and we reversed it. Could we not concentrate all the members and everyone consented with GPMS.world to concentrate on the completion of GPMS.world? With that, Terry, it doesn't actually work the same. GPMS is a full divine vehicle, instrument for the ascension to effect the overall reality. So with the storms, what we were able to reverse, where it was divinely allowed to do that, that was allowed on a small scale. This is somewhat different for all that it entails, because it's all inclusive. So having said that, ones though can do it, that it resonates with, it, let's say it never does any harm to do that. So it could be, and I believe when we first began GPMS, I believe there was a couple divine feminine that did some meditation to that respect, what you're saying. And it's to each what they may feel to do uh, in that regard. Thank you for that. Yeah, Terry, if you wanted to, someone could set it up and have a direct focus intent towards that would be great, um, because it does have an energetic effect to the degree that it's allowed. Twin flames and the sacred unions. I'm going to touch on that briefly. The twin flames, as most or all of you know, has been kept on hold, not anything forward. And one of the reasons for that, again, is the incredible energetic love that the twin flames create. What it would do, it would raise only the highest out of this reality, and many of the other human souls that were not awakened, or only in the early stages of their awakening, would be left behind without the mentoring, tutoring, and the peer examples of the twin flames. So having said this, the twin flames have been, let's say, kept low profile. However, to my knowledge, that's about to change now that the go ahead will be able to, for ones to come together again and to begin to create the creational energetics to support the new realities as they do. So whatever you wish to call them, twin flame relationships, sacred unions, they are all important, and they will be coming back into the highlight here at any time, and they've already begun that, I believe. So just looking to see if there's any other questions here. So I went pretty well over a lot of the Ascension, but it's connected with GPMS. With GPMS.world, we have our community sister site, which has been created by Sister Renata. And with that, we are also populating the sister site with healers and practitioners that offer their services to the ascending community, to all the souls, that offer them on a donation or free basis. So I wish to say that if you are a healer or a practitioner, metaphysical healer, anything in alignment with assisting others, if a guardian, a channeler, if you wish to put your particulars, your credentials in divine respect on there, it's open to you. You can visit the community, um, our community GPMS website, and you can do that by the main GPMS website. When you scroll towards the bottom, you will find a link to the community site, but also in my chat here, I have the direct link to it, so you can go there if you wish to offer your assistance to assist others. And not only is the community site limited to that, we are expanding the community site with teachings, with the higher consciousness knowledge, let's say herbal remedies, and all inclusive free energy uh, information and examples, because everyone needs to understand what we're doing is also, as we take GPMS forward, we are compiling all of these beautiful attributes of the Ascension for humanity. So we're compiling, bringing it all together. And as we collect the majority consent worldwide, you are also creating the world's biggest think tank that was ever known, with all the solutions and all of the easy way to do things, including free energy devices and all of the holistic medicines and healing techniques and modalities to assist humanity. So there's much more in the site. What I wish to say is that we're happy, I'm happy, and I know all GPMS members are happy to see the recent uptick in consents from Uganda brothers and sisters. They're doing an amazing job. At least a I believe it may be 2 teams, 3 teams. I think we did have 4, but I don't think one team is very active in there, and most of the increase in consents is coming from, I believe, one team, and they have what they have done just recently. Today I received some videos. They have GPMS.world t-shirts on, and they're actually in a market in Jinja, Uganda city, uh, cleaning up garbage as well, while they're spreading the word of GPMS.world. And one of the things with GPMS.world, upon implementation, if it's needed, there will be the worldwide, everyone chip in to pick up all of the garbage on the ground and in areas, and begin to put it in the proper waste disposal units, and the new units and technology that will be quickly created to facilitate it all. So it's very beautiful to see the Uganda GPMS team, one of those teams, doing this important work at cleaning up the garbage, the plastics, the litters that makes their water toxic, and makes anyone's water toxic worldwide. When you see garbage laying in litter laying in ditches, in rivers, it gets into the entire ecosystem, and the PCBs and Ps and other chemicals associated with that keeps continuously contaminating the water supply in the past with these synthetic chemicals that would take years and years to break down. So these practices are not part of the new earth. The new earth being is already begun to be clean, but more of the effort is put into that as soon as we have um, the replacement system done, where ones no longer need to work 40, 60, 70 hours a week to survive, where they only need to work maybe, 10 hours a week. Then we got more time to clean everything up and restore the entire earth, and also, let's say, make many oases in many deserts. So, a lot of good things to be done with that. So again, nothing can compare nor compete with what GPMS.world is. It's all inclusive, and there is no merit, no reasonable, rational um, um, argument that can go against It's for all, and anyone really, what GPMS does, it places all children in abundance and full security, and it would be insane for anyone to go against what GPMS does for all of humanity. And if you see any that goes against it or doesn't accept it, they are most likely minions of the darkness, or even controlled opposition that the darkness has out there, leading many false narratives, that attempts of trying to maintain the various illusions on humanity, because again, the overall darkness, the remnants of what is left, is very afraid, and all they can do is concoct false narratives and the trivial things that they try to do. Without getting too much into that, so is there any questions at this point? I went pretty well through my list, so I touched on things, and that's all I did. Some things I touched on those because really it could be extensive for some of the topics that I touched on. So, just looking here, see if there's any questions. Most important thing to focus on today is the new world where everyone is happy, abundant, and free. And that is GPMS.world, but the heaven on earth scenario. Because by doing that, then you keep your energetics aligned more securely and refined with the overall ascension as well. And by keeping aligned and focused with that, many unnecessary negative obstacles will come into one's path to contend with. If they do, they're there for a divine reason and only temporary, but it makes it much more easier to navigate upwards for all of us. And again, the more that's in alignment with going straight up, the quicker we get it done. So, yeah, wormwood tea is what I suggested. I see some on here. What I say is there's to be no solicitation on any of these videos as well. Joan, you're asking for a link to the healer's information site. It's on my timeline here. Just look at a couple posts I just put out before the live here tonight. I think the last post, and that'll have the information in it. So it should be easily seen. So you can just click on that and the post. Are there any comments or any questions at this time on anything I said? If not, what I'll do for now is, uh, yeah, what I'll do for now is I'll shut this down and letting everyone know that Femke and I keep very busy every day with multitudes of messages and everything we do. So again, that's one of the reasons why it's been so long in between I able to connect with you on Facebook in the live. So I took this opportunity to catch up on that and understand that I also have some other groups on channel on Telegram and some other groups, and with what we're doing with GPMS, that's more or less the divine priority, because again it facilitates the ascension. The quicker we get this done, the quicker the mission is over, and the ascension, the ascension at putting humanity into the civilized state and world. A 400-year-old can consent with GPMS.world. So there is no age limit, and we encourage all to get your consent in there, because this physically ratifies the new world, the heaven on earth, here on earth. It puts it in place. It cannot be refuted nor disputed by anyone or anything as well. So it's lawfully and technically uh, replaces this old system you currently have, and it's done in this manner. And having said that, uh, part of my preparation work for this was to know the full dynamics of how financial systems, trading systems, crypto, blockchain, how all of that worked, as well as what they call the legal system and how all of that worked, uh, and, and the reasons for that. We had to destruct that whole system, and also to be able to give the simple system and to know how to quickly and efficiently implement the new divine replacement system. Poof, right here on earth. We use the existing infrastructure to do it, and also new technology. So everything is already here. All right, one more quick question from Sister Toro. Uh, she said, just a quick question. What was it said about 25th of November? Well, between November 15th to the 25th, there was an allotted 10 days of a chaotic darkness that would occur. And much more of the darkness would have been revealed by their acts and their deeds and their intentions during that time. And having said this, for the ones worldwide uh, that look at some of the worldwide events. You can see the animosity and things that were revealed and exposed of the perpetrators and what have you. And this is to identify all of that, because it's not accepted in the new world. And also on the individual level, there were many other things that layers that had come up for ones that needed to be mastered right away in this 10-day period, because again of what's coming here right around the corner, which is looking very good. I don't know what it entails yet, the particulars of it, but as we know, very good things. So there was that allotted 10-day period that ends on November 25th, where uh, much decision making by many souls worldwide by what they've witnessed in those 10 days. It's also to facilitate them making uh, much more quicker uh, right choices, in the least. So good. So, with that, much love, light, and gratitude to you all. And thank you for joining. And of course, share this if you wish. And let's get the information out to more. And importantly, for all of you to know that GPMS, yes, is the divine instrument connected to the Ascension. I even call it the Ark at times because it is. Both arcs, feminine and masculine, also Noah's Ark, if you will, taking all to the new world, and you can look at the metaphoric symbolism and also the irony of it at this time. And it's all designed to make it easy. You know, many Christians worldwide in the Bible have known this time would come in indigenous cultures and in their beliefs and their prophecies. It's also was imprinted. So this time is really no stranger to any beliefs, no matter what race, if you will, worldwide, and of course what creed. So it is happening. There's no refuting that, and yeah, we almost we almost got it done. So with that, again, love, light, peace, gratitude, harmony, and abundance. And thank you so much. And have a great day wherever you may be.